Hello, everyone. This is Yuko. In this channel, I will be sharing information in English about events happening in China that may not be widely known in other countries. I gather information from various media sources, so I'd appreciate your comments on the video content. As English is not my native language, I am using an AI speaker to read the content in English. If you find the content interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel and supporting us. Now, let's dive into the intriguing world of China. This time, I'll be discussing electric vehicles, EVs. The Communist Party of China is actively promoting EVs on a national scale, and a characteristic of China is that many companies enter sectors promoted by the state. Consequently, intense competition often leads to the elimination or collapse of numerous companies, a pattern that repeats. Chinese EV manufacturers are no exception, and there have already been cases of companies going bankrupt in China. In such cases, when a manufacturer goes bankrupt, users who have purchased the company's cars face significant damage. This is because, unlike traditional gasoline cars, the control of the company's cars is not entirely in the hands of the users. Functions such as software updates through the internet and unlocking via smartphones depend on the operation of the company's servers. If the company goes bankrupt, users cannot unlock their cars, leading to a situation where a significant number of users suddenly cannot drive their cars. In China, EVs are considered fundamentally different from traditional cars. They are often likened to smartphones because they require frequent software updates and various applications to maintain the car's functions in the latest state. However, this dependency on the internet, company servers, and updates poses risks. For example, if a company goes bankrupt, the cars may cease to function. Additionally, if there are issues with the company's servers, a large number of cars may become inoperable. There is also the risk of unauthorized access to servers, potentially resulting in users losing control of their vehicles. Returning to the earlier example, the company named Weima Auto, which filed for bankruptcy in October this year, left users who purchased their cars in a troublesome situation as they could no longer use their vehicles. This phenomenon was not present in the era of gasoline cars. Gasoline cars can operate even without an internet connection, and even if a company goes bankrupt, the cars can continue running and be repaired using non-original parts. In contrast, electric cars, especially in the case of Weima Auto, are considered difficult to repair without genuine parts from the manufacturer. In the midst of China's leadership in the electric vehicle, EV, sector, issues related to EVs are coming to light. People who have experienced their car manufacturer going bankrupt are already facing significant problems. When choosing a car in China, users need to consider the risk of the manufacturer going bankrupt. Even if the design is appealing, poor corporate performance may suggest potential trouble for those who choose to buy their cars, especially in the future, particularly in China. Amidst this situation, the top executive of the company that filed for bankruptcy is attracting attention for managing the company in an incredibly questionable manner. I'd like to delve into that aspect of the story. As mentioned earlier, from 2019 to 2021, this company incurred a staggering deficit of 174 billion yuan, equivalent to over 300 billion yen. However, during 2021, the president of the company received a personal compensation exceeding 12 billion yuan, approximately 240 billion yen in Japanese yen terms. This astronomical personal reward is quite surprising, even when compared to figures like Carlos Ghosn. It appears that while the company was facing significant financial losses, the president strategically secured substantial personal compensation before potentially abandoning the company. In 2021, under the guise of a business trip to Germany, the president boarded a plane and, after leaving the country, changed the destination to the United States, heading towards New York. There are indications that this move was planned from the beginning as a means of relocating overseas. Despite the company's dire financial situation, the president seemed to have received substantial personal rewards and may have intended to escape with the money before further troubles unfolded. The president's actions, including the sudden trip to the United States, have raised suspicions that there was a plan in place to take advantage of the substantial personal rewards received and potentially move abroad. Considering the current business environment in China, where coexistence and mutual prosperity are challenging for domestic auto manufacturers due to state-driven initiatives, an oversupply problem inevitably arises. Many companies face elimination, and the president of this company might have been aware of this situation and decided to seize personal rewards before the company's financial downfall. Consumers in China may not be aware of such situations, and those who have purchased cars from this company are now facing difficulties. This issue is specific to China, but there are concerns about what would happen if a foreign user bought an electric vehicle from a Chinese manufacturer that went bankrupt, had its servers hacked, or had new programs introduced due to a shift in the Communist Party's policies. The uncertainty surrounding software updates, app downloads, and potential security risks adds to the concerns for foreign users. Another topic related to EVs that I would like to discuss is the cost of electricity for charging electric vehicles in China. There are concerns that the cost might increase when charging electric vehicles, and the reasons for this are varied across different regions in China. The electricity cost is determined by the power supplied by electricity companies, and the companies operating charging stations need to adhere to certain rules and cannot arbitrarily inflate the electricity cost. However, these companies face intense competition, and the substantial investment in facilities, along with maintenance costs, contributes to the rising service charges. Despite the rising costs in some regions, electric vehicles in China are still relatively inexpensive compared to gasoline vehicles when considering the cost per distance traveled. This is due to fierce competition among companies operating charging stations and the government's push to promote electric vehicles. However, this might not be sustainable in the long run, and if the financial performance of these charging station companies deteriorates, price increases could become inevitable. Even in the current economic climate in China, which is considered to be in a state of deflation, charging costs are on the rise. In conclusion, while electric vehicles currently seem advantageous in terms of fuel prices when compared to gasoline vehicles in China, this situation may not last indefinitely. It is essential to closely monitor how the future of electric vehicles unfolds and consider the information as a reference for predicting their trajectory. That concludes our discussion for this time, and I look forward to meeting you in the next video.